And hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Just making a sound check. So, welcome to the Sandy Dunes of Lutba. Today with me, I have Alvaro, who's going to be our art director, who's going to be sculpting a little bit something for us. And I kind of have she's not a newbie to the team. She's been with us for a couple of months, but she's new to you guys. So we have Luiza Varela with us, our new resident painter. So if you guys could say hello.
What's up, guys?
Hi, can you hear me? How are you doing?
Ooh, I think there was a little bit of interference with Alvaro there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird, but I think it's gonna be okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so everyone just let us know if there are any audio issues or anything like that. We're gonna get to solve them real quick. So let's get to it because there's a lot of cool stuff to show today. So for starters, let's go for a couple of minis. Actually, I just before I get to that, we do have a QR code up here today. It's gonna show up intermittently. I'm gonna what? Ooh, let me transition here. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna show it like intermittently. It's not gonna be always up there, but you can just use that code to go get this awesome bundle. Okay. So yeah, that's gonna be back in just a second. And let's start with our first mini of today. And yeah, why not start with some awesome concept art? Like people went nuts when we revealed the concept art for this bundle. Guilherme Mota and Kevin Franciosi, the concept artists for this bundle, did an amazing job. And we're gonna start with the Mech Gunslinger. And the Mech Gunslinger, it's like we kind of figured out that we always need to have a robot or a cyborg or something like that, right? It's kind of like the standard mini for the sci-fi bundles. We're always gonna try to have something like that. They are very useful, very versatile. They can be used in a number of different games. And this particular guy, the Mech Gunslinger, actually has a cool story behind him. He's like he is one of the natives of Lutba, this desert planet that has just enhanced himself so much that he's taller. He's like on par with his dimensions are on par with a regular humanoid, which I think is just an awesome backstory that our lore master Gribbo came up with. You guys are gonna see the actual natives of Lutba later. They are a little bit smaller and a little bit more cute, let's say. They are a bit Jawa-like or maybe Sand People-like. But the Mech Gunslinger is just so cool. And you can use him as a cyborg or an android. Anything like that would work. A Street Samurai would be if you're playing Shadowrun, would be a great choice for a guy like this, just heavily armored. And yeah, a couple of cybernetic muscle enhancements, and yeah, let's see. Do we have him up yet? Yes, we do have him, and I think the first thing we're gonna do is show the unpainted version, because we do have a painted version of this really cool mini. So this is the Sculpt. And this sculpt is by Caio Bellucci. Is it Bellucci or Bellucci, Alvaro? I can never...
No idea.
I know it's an Italian name, and I think the proper Italian pronunciation is Bellucci, but I don't know how they pronounce it here in Brazil. So Caio is a newer artist with us, but I think he did a great job with this one. Let's just absorb all of the detail on this one. He has a bit of a let's say maybe Kamen Rider vibe, like a bit of that Japanese aesthetic going on a little bit, I think. which I really like. I really enjoy, like the kind of head crest, the the weird looking helmet, just so cool. And yeah, here it is. And like the paint job on this one. And who was it that painted this one? Was it Marcia or you, Luiza?
It was me.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great job here. I really like this one. Yeah, I might. Have we taken out the pictures we needed to take of this one yet? Oh, god damn it! I was just gonna shove it on a pocket and take it home. But it's so nice, and like the cloak, and I think the Caio did a great job of on the sculpt, and then Luiza just knocked it out of the park with the enhancements. And look at the base there. There's just a little bit of a lizard there, like a Templar lizard or something. We have one like this. We have like there are lizards like this basically everywhere on the planet. We have one kind here in Brazil, which is called a calango, and yeah, it just reminds us of that. It's so cool. And you can see like all of the little details, like kind of like the cables that the cables going from the chest armor into the helmet that kind of look like muscle, right? Like muscle tissue. Just a cool mini for a shadow runner or a, I don't know, any paladin. Like this one could actually work as some as a gunslinger, warforged for D&D, something like that. I think there are a couple of gunslinger subclasses out there, but you can also just like straight up do a ranger or a rogue and just replace the damage types. Just sprinkle a little bit of a different flavor into it. But just an amazing job with it's metallic paint, right? It's Luiza.
Yep, it is. It's a chromatic metal paint that Marcia helped me with.
Yeah, and I think you started with us doing like the smaller minis, right? The 32mm minis, and now you're transitioning to the 75, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a lot of people tell us like a lot of people who start painting our minis start the other way around. They start painting the 75s because they find it easier. They you guys gotta see Luiza. Like we gotta. Wait, did we do it? A video of just like did we just film Luiza painting like 32mm miniature? We gotta show that to people sometime. It's kind of funny, like Luiza with the magnifying glasses. It's very mad scientist, her look, and it's really cool. And I believe this one we also have a bust for this one, correct? Do we have the bust for it?
Here.
Ooh, let's see
You
here.
should open and close the Skype to show this camera progress because it's not.
Oh, just a second, guys. I need to talk to people here. Okay, we have a little bit of an issue here, guys. We may have to pause live stream for a bit so you can solve it. So Luiza is painting the young worm, which we're gonna get to in a little bit. It's one of the two giant worms that we did for this bundle. Let me just, but for some reason it's not working right, so it's kind of stuck there. Let me just try and transition back here to see if it. Yeah, we're gonna have to like pause the live stream real quick just so we can solve the like Luiza's camera, but I'll be right back. And we are back again. Is it working now? I think it's working now. So you guys let me know on chat if there are any issues. We don't want to miss any of what Luiza is doing right there. It's because it's awesome, right? So yeah, let's see here. Let me transition back to the mini. So we don't have the bust up. Yeah. Let me just. Whew, there's a lot here. Let me transition back to the mini real quick while I. Okay, so we had a little bit of an issue with our resin. Let me just find the busts here. Just a second here, guys. Oh. Let me show it to you guys here. Okay, so we had a little bit of an issue with our resin, so we had to reprint a bunch of stuff. So unfortunately, we don't have like every single mini because there was like a resin failure problem, right? So we are reprinting a bunch of stuff, and the bus for the Mech Gunslinger was one of those things, unfortunately. But yeah, everything, it should be available now. We just launched the bundle, so it's available for you guys. It's just that we don't have it to show. But it's an amazing sculpt by Caio. And yeah, definitely check this one out. And okay, next up, let's see what we have. Oh, of course, we have the Mech Gunslinger needs a companion. Ooh, Luiza is stuck again. Let me. Yeah, and I think we are good now. We should be good now. Okay, so the Gunslinger companion, right? It's a little bit like, who was it? Ed 5 from RoboCop. What was the name of that giant walker robot from RoboCop? I forget it now. It was. Yes. So okay, things are looking good again. So yeah, it's just kind of an awesome walker mech. It's it's like sometimes you need a lot of firepower, and that's what the Mech Gunslinger brings to bear. I think this one is particular. It's gonna be like particularly good for dioramas and stuff like that. I definitely wouldn't want to face against one of these things in a game. But yeah, and here is the Sculpt, and this one is by Uriel Mendes. And let us get right close into that. So it's a belt-fed gun. Those things are such an annoyance from what I hear too. They always like jam, and there's a bunch of issues with them, but they look cool as hell. So screw realism. We're going for the cool looks here. Yeah, Lord Beard, I think I've mentioned before the concept artists for this bundle are Guilherme Mota and Kevin Franciosi. I believe the Gunslinger companion was Kevin. I'm not sure. But yeah, those are the designers, and there's just such cool little details. The vent ports, the lighting stuff, the headlights, the gun, the big imponent gun. And there's a couple of details that you're gonna see like throughout the design of the bundle, like those kind of triangular patches on the metal things on the gun. That repeats itself throughout several different bundles. So yeah, just a cool sculpt. So yeah, and next up, let's move on to the next sculpt because we have a lot of stuff to show today. Next up is gonna be another sculpt by Caio Bellucci. We're gonna figure out eventually, and it's going to be the Desert Marine. And unfortunately, this is one of the ones we don't have a. Oh, we do have it. Oh, let me just transition to the concept art first. Okay, so this is Desert Marine. It's one of the ones we actually came up with two versions of it. So you guys are gonna see like there's the concept art for the Desert Marine here, and right on top here we have the Dragonfly Marine. So it's the same character, I'd say, but with two like completely different and very dynamic poses, right? We're gonna show like both of those to you guys in a second. Both of them are sculpts by Caio Bellucci, and yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And let me just. Ooh, apparently there's like a big delay on the live stream, from what I'm seeing here. So if it takes me a little bit to correct something, you guys, I apologize about that. So yeah, this is like your classic warrior is something that we're trying to include in like every bundle, every sci-fi bundle, like the sci-fi soldier or fighter or warrior, something like that. Eventually, you guys keep asking us to do like a full army, but I think on the like medium to long run, you guys are gonna have an awesome army with several different types of warriors. And yeah, let us know if this is a style that you like, and maybe we'll come back to it someday. But let's go to the actual sculpt, and let me transition here. And yeah, the Desert Marine is, he's a desert fighter. He's kind of tethered. His clothes, like this whole bundle, there's a very, very clear Dune inspiration, right? And for the Desert Marine and a couple of the other characters, there's definitely a correlation to the Fremen suits, right? That help you maintain and recycle and restore your bodily fluids, basically your water. They help you keep a good water intake. And this guy's definitely a survivor. Like the Tethered Cloak definitely shows that he's bringing a bunch of guns to fight. Yeah, definitely like one of the coolest soldiers that I think we did. But the version I like the most of him is definitely the Dragonfly Marine, which we're gonna show in just a second. Do we have an unpainted Dragonfly Marine there? Because we also have a painted one of these. Ooh, yes. We have started doing painting content for the sci-fi subscription as well. Now that Luiza's here and she's helping us out with the bundle projects, so Marcia is not like is not drowning herself in paint and like almost killing herself trying to get things ready on time. So Luiza's being a great help for us. Yeah. So yeah. She's gonna allow us to have some painting content for sci-fi, which is something that we've been trying to do for a while now. Okay, I'm going to transition now just so we can change to the Dragonfly Marine.
You're thinking of doing like we did for the twin, an Instagram post with the thanking knives.
And this is the Dragonfly Marine. So just this one is a much more dynamic pose. He's holding a different gun. He's like he's holding it and pointing it in a different way. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I believe the Desert Marine is executing like proper gun safety protocols, right? That was an issue for some people in the past. So, but we have taken care of it. It's not going to be a problem anymore. I don't think so. But yeah, the Dragonfly Marine is obviously kind of the dragonfly, the dragonfly-like wings, or ornithopter wings, definitely inspired by the Dune Topters. And now we're gonna show the painted version. And this one just looks so cool. This one, like with the metallic painting, this one definitely looks a little bit like some version of the Mandalorian, right? What was the name of Mando? Jim Urso or something like that. Who I'm terrible with names. I remember with any story, I remember the relationships between different characters, but I'm really, really bad with the names. I think Alvaro is sculpting like a straight up Argonian. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're sculpting, Alvaro?
I'm just trying to have fun doing a lizard man character. Just to be clear, I have some reference here. I'm not like taking all these from my head. So I googled some lizards from the desert. So yeah, there are some really cool designs when you're looking for lizards. There is this horned one, and I'm sculpting the head a lot based on the real lizards, but of course for the body I'm having some fun and trying to make him more human-like, and that's all. This one I'm not doing like to be released in the future as a miniature. Maybe we can do some races like these, but I'm just trying to have fun and doing a sketch.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, so as Alvaro said, I don't think we're gonna be releasing this one anytime soon as part of the welcome pack or as part of this bundle or anything like that. This is just kind of Alvaro needs to stretch his creative muscles, and I think this is a good moment for him to do it. Like, he's a very busy man, and he doesn't have a lot of opportunities to sculpt anymore, unfortunately. So yeah. But yeah, let's go back to the Dragonfly Marine. Okay, so next up, let's see what I have here on my list for next. Next up, we have the Desert Skirmisher, and let me just give me just a second here while I adjust things. Yeah, so the Desert Skirmisher is straight up a Fremen warrior, right? And you might ask, why do all of this like futuristic societies decide to go for melee weapons, or decide to use things like bows and arrows when there are like much more advanced weapons available? It's because it's cool. Like, there's a lot of lore reasons you could give it. In Dune, they use bladed weapons because their shields can stop very, very fast projectile or laser weapons, but like the slow blade penetrates the shield, right? But at the end of the day, it's just because people want to be able to be and play space warriors, space fighters. There's just something cool about wielding a sword or stabbing someone on the back with a knife, right? So the Desert Skirmisher it's our little tribute to that, our little version of that. And actually, we just got from our finishing team, we got the actual sculpt here. So let me transition into it. So yeah, this sculpt for the Desert Skirmisher was done by João Comaceto, and yeah, just such a cool guy. And like the hair coming out of the full suit, but the hair coming out of the top, it's really, really impractical, especially for like a desert storm or something like that. But it's really, really cool looking, like Cyclops in the 90s, right? Actually, a lot of characters from the 90s. Gambit is still rolling with this look, right, and making it work. And I think the Desert Skirmisher is one of those guys that can just pull it off. A little bit of the Kakashi vibe going on as well, right? So yeah, just a really, really solid sculpt with a lot of really good references, like stuff like the Fremen suit, the Tethered Cloak. This one, it's gonna be like, it's fun because it's not just one texture and one material. It's not like we did a couple of we did some soldiers a couple of months ago that were fun for the team and worked for the team, but it was just like the kind of a solid armor, right? A solid kind of metal armor. But this one is, a little more piecemeal armor, kind of put together. A lot of different textures, a lot of different materials here. So it's probably going to be a lot of fun for painters to get this done. So yeah, and it can also definitely work for if you're playing any type of roguish character, any type of, or even a ranger like character, right? Yeah, that's Desert Ninja Squad. Hell, I agree with you, Antonio. So yeah, this one is just straight up coolness. Could you get a close up on the face and stuff like that? I think there's a lot of like really, really cool detail. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the rebreather thing, like that kind of detail where like that Dune movie stuff where there's a tube coming out of the suit and going into the respirator piece. That is absolutely great. It's a little bit of a Darth Vader mask going on. Just awesome stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And this one is a little less, let's say he's a little less subtle than the Desert Skirmisher. It is the Bazooka Mercenary. So yeah, the Bazooka Mercenary is for those of you who like to play the stealth sections of video games a little bit differently, right? There's a couple of different ways of doing a stealth section in a video game. The first one is no one gets to see you. The second one is if there's no one left alive, then there's no one left to tell anybody about you being there. And the Bazooka Mercenary is definitely going for the second way to clear it. Oh, I think we dropped a couple of things there, but it's fine. It's perfectly fine because it wasn't me. So the Bazooka Mercenary is like, this is definitely like a chaotic mass kind of character, right? It's the guy that you can trust to come in and do a lot of damage, but maybe he's a team player. I don't know. He's the kind of dude that he's the kind of dude that would if he was a wizard, he would fireball the big bad guy while the barbarian and fighter and the paladin are within range of the fireball, right? It's the kind of guy he is. And I think I've been saying he a lot. I just kind of defaulted that. But several of these characters, especially like the Desert Marine, the Dragonfly Marine, the Bazooka Mercenary, we're doing something a little bit different recently, which is like when you put a mask and you put armor on a character, then they could be anything, right? They can be male or female. They can work like either way. And I think the Bazooka Mercenary would be a fun character to play regardless of the gender you choose for it. And I think, do we have the... Yeah, so let's transition to the actual sculpt. And I think we're actually missing like the bazooka missile. Let's see here. Yeah, the bazooka missile is like a separate piece. And yeah, I don't think it got finished in time, but that's fine. But you can actually like do like one of those action toys from the 80s and 90s, right? And just separate the missile to indicate that it's been used. And Bazooka Mercenary is a sculpt by Victor Prado. Yeah, like this guy comes bearing arms, like the pistol, the bazooka, and if all of that doesn't do the job, he can get up close and personal with his sword there. Yeah, nice belt buckle. Yeah, he does have a great belt buckle. I wish I could pull off something crazy like this. A couple of these characters, like, you know, you're living in a desert and there's giant worms around you all the time, just killing everything. And then the planet gets invaded, and there's like this royal family, like a bunch of royal families fighting each other and getting you killed in the process. But it doesn't mean you can't have like a little bit of fun with how you dress, you know? Just wind down. Yeah, so he has yeah, I think that could be a limiting factor, right? If you're using this character against your party in any game. He has the missile into bazooka, or the missile launcher, whatever that thing is, and then he has 3 more, and then after that he stops using it. Maybe he needs like a bonus action, or maybe even an action to reload. But yeah, it's gonna be if it's like fireballing your player characters every turn, they're gonna have a hard time fighting him. Absolutely. So yeah, this is the Bazooka Mercenary, an amazing sculpt by Victor Prado. And next up, let's see what we have here. Oh, next up. So these were like kind of the humanoids for the bundle. Yeah. One of my little helpers here is really excited about the next one. And this one, it's a really fun one. Let me get to it here. Next up, we have the Lootbox Scavenger. And this one is definitely like kind of our homage to characters like the Sand People or the Jawas from Star Wars. They are kind of like the actual natives of Lutba. They have lived in this desert planet for maybe like thousands and thousands of years, and they have adapted to it, and they have become different people because of it. And they are like smaller. So they are kind of like the gnomes or the halflings of this particular scenario, right? Just a race that people underestimate, and they definitely shouldn't. This one is a scavenger. This is what they do. They scavenge the remains. Like, why mine for metal when you can just scavenge the remains of like derelict ships and like the remains of ancient civilizations that fell, right? So yeah, this is this little guy, and he's actually kind of absolutely lovely, absolutely cute. So here we go. Like, this is the Lootbox Scavenger in all of its glory, is sculpted by Carlos Fontanelli. And he has the little like his little scrapyard drone there. It's basically a trash. I would say a trash can on wheels, but it doesn't actually have any wheels. It's just kind of a trash can that he pulls around on a little rocket engine, and it's just such a cool looking character. So yeah, if you're playing like a Star Wars game, this would definitely like be a good option to play like a Jawa character. And again, a lot of really cool detail. You guys are gonna notice this guy has a little bit of a different visual identity from the rest of the fighters we've shown so far. The desert warriors, right? This guy, it's a little bit less armor, a little bit more like cloth to him, and a lot of those wrappings around the head. Just he's just so cute, especially with the little hat there. And he actually, like, if you notice on the hat, like those hexagonal, are those hexagonal or octagonal? Those are hexagon things. I imagine those are like, and those are connected to the head. I imagine those are like little itty bitty solar panels, right? So he's always like charging up some energy in there. So yeah, just an amazing sculpt. Great concept art for this one. Great translation into the actual sculpt. And because they are so itty bitty, it actually like fits a whole nother character into a whole nother like tiny character into the base. So yeah, this one is absolutely lovely. Yeah, and next up, let me get to it here. We don't have the 75mm one, but we are gonna show the 32mm version of this one. This is the Lutba Robot Rider. So you guys know a lot of different inspirations coming into this model. There's Dune, there's Star Wars, there's Horizon, right? A lot of really cool inspirations for it. There are not a lot of animals that can survive the harsh climate of Lutba, so the robot riders built their own pack animals. Before you guys ask, there is a version of this animal without a rider, right? They are separate pieces. We have started doing whenever there's a rider and an animal or something like that. We have started doing separate pieces because we know you guys are gonna ask for it. So yeah, this is the Lutba Robot Rider. We're gonna show the 32mm sculpt now, but even at 32mm, like the detail on this one is kind of amazing. So this one was sculpted by João Comaceto, and you know it's the same kind of character from the humanoid character. It's the same kind of character from the Lootbox Scavenger, but it has like the big spear that actually has a ranged attack, so don't underestimate it. And his mounted on this really cool dino or camo looking thing. So absolutely amazing. Okay, so these are the characters, like the warriors of Lutba, right? The common folk that have been surviving in the desert for hundreds, if not thousands of years in some cases, like for the rider and the scavenger. But we do have another full faction we have another faction in Lutba, which are the royals, the royal family of Lutba. And to start off, we have Baron Bartolomeo Riberdani. I think the inspiration for this one is like quite clear for those who have watched Dune. I think there's always space for some royal family shenanigans in any kind of space opera kind of stuff, right? So you have in Star Wars, you don't have a royal family, but you basically do with Darth Vader and Leia and Luke. And like familial relationships are always like a good place to start if you want to have some drama. With Baron Bartholomew and his Baroness that we're gonna show in a little bit, I think we really wanted to play around with like what we can with the idea of regal and what a corrupt royal family would look like. And with this one in particular, we want to showcase one of our favorite illusions to create. This character is floating around illusion, which with the sci-fi bundle we've been able to do quite a lot, which is, it's quite nice. Just let me know when we're ready. I think we're just setting up the camera focus there. And we're good. So yeah, this is Baron Bartholomew Riberdani. And he's actually supported by his huge cloak, which is just kind of billowing around him, right? With all of the tassels from his robes are billowing around him, and he's supported on it, so he looks quite taller than he actually is, and it's one of the things that he likes to do, like to create this illusion for his people that he's like some kind of magnanimous being, and very powerful or something like that. When in truth, he's a fat slob. And there's there's a lot of really cool design elements going on into this the royals, right? There's something almost religious about them, almost like they are the priests or gods of their own religion. They are definitely also wearing like the respirator things from Dune. So yeah, just a lot of really cool stuff. And this sculpt, let me say before I forget, this one is by Diogo Colares. Diogo really captured like the snob look of this. You look at this guy's face and you're just like, yeah, this is a guy we're gonna have to take care of in this adventure, isn't he? This is not like a good guy. And for this one, we actually have a bust. It is our second bust of the evening. So let's transition into it. So you can get to see all of the glorious detail. Let us just adjust a little bit for the zoom here. Okay, so yeah, this is the bust version of him, which is quite bigger, about twice the size of twice as large as the 75mm version, and just the amount of detail and the kind of grossness of if you like zoom in on the head, you can actually see like the way the skin and the muscle underneath is wrinkling with the expression on the face, and there's like the second chin and all the fat folds, and there's the respirator thing going like straight into the spine and the head. So just a really cool guy. This is a guy that I would feel no remorse in killing, right? That's kind of designed to be a bad guy. And again, there's a lot of patterns going on here, a lot of different materials and elements. There's the cloth, leather, metal, probably like rubber. You guys are gonna have a lot of different options when painting this one. Whew. Yeah, just disgusting. No remorse in killing this guy. I think a couple of characters just kind of, you know, at first glance you kind of look at them and decide, who this guy looks evil, or he at least doesn't look nice, you know. A couple of other characters like the Baroness, I think it's a little bit different. She may look stern, but not necessarily evil. So let's transition into the next character of the day, which is going to be the Baroness Francesca Riberdani. We definitely could have done like a full royal family, but we decided to focus instead on the fighters. So for those of you who know the lore of Dune or something like that, you know there's like there's a lot of other nobles, let's say, that we could have represented, or that we could have taken inspiration from. I think we chose a couple of kind of iconic ones. So this is the Baroness. Let's see here. Yeah, and this one, you know, could have come straight from like a high fantasy setting. Once in a while, it's nice to bring those two together, right? Not too much, but also not none of it. So this is the Sculpt, and I think this actually turned out quite amazing. I would use this one I would definitely use this one for a D&D game of mine. This Sculpt of Baroness Francesca is by Robson Barros, or 3D team lead for the sci-fi bundles. And it's just kind of amazing. Just like all of the cloth floating around her as she moves and turns around. You can see the dagger at her back there, just kind of hidden. When you're looking at her from the front, you have no idea that that's there. But it's definitely an option for her to just, you know, stab someone in the back. Just a second, guys. Okay, I was just confirming some information here before we announce something. But yeah, Baroness Francesca is an awesome kind of regal and stern looking character. If we could get, yeah, we're gonna transition to the bust now so we can get some of the face details in. I wonder if people are gonna be curious about what we were talking about. We're gonna announce it later, guys. Don't worry about it. And there we go. So yeah, it's just full of the I think the all of the royals are full of, especially if you and I think the end on chat really nailed it. There's a couple of things that look very organic when you're looking at them from far away, but especially like the collar thing that she's wearing around her neck there. Once you zoom in, you start seeing like all of these geometric shapes, especially in her clothes, in her crown, her headdress, her dress itself. Lots of like really cool little details that people are gonna. There's just so much cool stuff here, like the wrinkles on the cloth there. Just awesome work by Robson.
had to make Robson stop. I said like, "Oh man, please stop! You're going too far with the details. Some
Yes.
details that he was going to put on the model wouldn't be visible even on the bust." So yeah, Robson sometimes get overexcited
He can-
while
yeah,
sculpting
a couple of
and go
ti-
crazy with details.
Yeah, a couple of times our artists get kind of carried away with the scopes, right? And they have to like hold them back a little bit because they always want to add just a little bit more detail, but maybe that wouldn't work as well for the prints, right? So we have to stop at some point and get the scopes to the printing and testing process, just so we can make sure everything is working well. And yeah, I think this one is one of my favorites from this bundle. Next up, continuing with the royals, we have the Royal Priestess, and the Royal Priestess is kind of the lady in waiting of the Baroness, the kind of the handmaiden, I would say, the helper, and she's a little bit of a tech priest, I'd say. Like there's definitely a lot of possibilities here when it comes to something like Starfinder, but she's also this one would also work absolutely great as a diorama piece. There's just something a little bit alien and otherworldly to her look. I think on the lore she is, human or humanoid at least, but it's definitely there's definitely a lot of things that we can do with her. And here is and I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit because we still have a lot to show today. Here we have her in her Sculpt by Gustavo Glissi. Is it Glissi? Alvaro? We gotta learn how to pronounce his names. Yeah. So thank you so much for this amazing Sculpt, Gustavo. So if we could zoom in a little bit, just to show like the tassels on the dress just floating about. And just because the Baroness and the Priestess are wearing dresses, they are still packing some weapons, right? You don't just go into a place like Lutba without knowing how to fight and how to defend yourself. It would be a very, very, very bad idea to do it. So yeah, just a lot of awesome sculpts in this one. And I think there's something to be said about like we always try to do minis in every bundle that can we can't please everyone, but we try to do minis that are more geared towards players and a couple of minis that are more geared towards painters. I think this one is it's a great one for painters. Just absolutely beautiful. And next up, we have the Tactician. And the Tactician is actually going to be the one of the last characters, but the last bust of the day. And it has such a cool look. This is one of those guys that we've been trying to find a way to always include a more alien looking character in the bundles as well. So a lot of our bundles recently have had a lot of like straight up humans, right? And a lot of people like the kind of Star Wars looking aliens, right? The humanoid aliens, but with something extra to them, something different. And I think that the Tactician is the perfect example of this for this bundle. He fits very well within it. Last month we did the orchid alien. I forgot her name now, but the petaloid. the Petaloid scientist. So yeah, this is us continuing that trend. We're always gonna try to have like at least one mini that's like a little bit different, just to spice things up. And here we have it. And this one is like really really good because he could also be he kind of looks like the a super villain, right? So he could definitely be like the mastermind villain of one of your adventures if you so desired. So let's transition to the Sculpt by Diogo Colares. And you see he has there like a tactical map of Lutba, which is kind of one a really really cool add on to the miniature, to the base there. And you can see and it's a globe, it's a representation of the planet, so it's definitely not to scale with all those like giant moons, and like the markers coming out of it. And it's kind of like the idea is that those markers can be like holographic and they could be moved around or something. But it's just a really really cool extra thing to have on the base there. And he does have a little bit of a Cyclops look, or maybe a cyclopic mega mind, right? I love that movie. And you actually can see like Diogo did such a great job because you can actually see on the 75mm especially, you can see the veins around the brain there. But I think we're gonna be able to see that better on the bust version. So do we have the bust version there? Okay. So let's transition into the bust. Okay. And the bust does have like a little bit of a different pose. Like the globe was such that globe and that map was such a striking part of the model that we thought, like we need to make that appear on the bust. So he has a different position, like he's holding the globe up, which kind of like recontextualizes the character. Like this version could definitely be like definitely gives me like an evil mastermind vibe, just holding the world in the palm of its hand. So just a really really cool model. You can actually see like where in the temples there, where the flesh kind of recedes. If he wasn't a Cyclops, I'd say he has a little bit of a Piccolo vibe from Dragon Ball. But yeah, just awesome work with this one. And again, this guy's packing. Everyone in Lutba is holding guns because it's a very very dangerous place. Which takes us. Let's go on to our last. Let's say our last humanoid character of the bundle, the Royal Guard. And this one, the Royal Guard, is a little bit different. I don't think there's like a straight correlation in Dune or anything like that. It's the Royal Guard is just kind of like the ultimate protector. He's our little nod to anyone who wants to play like a heavily armored fighter in like a Starfinder game or something. And I think there's a lot of possible inspiration. He also gives me like a little bit of a celestial vibe from Marvel, right? The Celestials do tend to have armor kind of like this, or like Galactus with the helmet with the big side horns, like with the geometric shapes. So just a really really cool concept. Do you have do you remember, Alvaro, from the concept stage, what was if there was a particular inspiration for this one?
So this one we found some really cool art inspired by Dune, like from some other artists, not from the movies. And there were some really cool how do you say, like medieval armor like warriors, and the briefing was to make like a warrior with no feelings. So I didn't want to show his face or the armor to have eyes or mouth or something that looks like a person. The idea was to create this statue-like guardian that just stands still and wait for the command.
Yeah, this kind of uncaring, unfeeling warrior that is just there to do a particular job, right? To defend, like almost like an unmovable object. You do not want to rush against a guy like this. So he's like very, very heavy and very, very, very well armored. So yeah, and this is the Sculpt, and this one is by Daniel Sanchez. And I think Danielle did a great job of translating the concept art into the 3D model. I think this character looks amazing. There's a couple of things that are like a little bit different than the concept art, and I think those changes were for the best. But it's just like a couple of things, like the cloth on the front of him there. It just gives like a little bit more for artists to work on, a little bit of a different material and texture to work with. So yeah, amazing job by Danielle there.
And the cool Easter egg that the Lutheran Rider, the weapon he's holding is the same as this one, but a damaged version. Like he had found it on the desert and fixed it to use as a spear or as a gun.
Yes, absolutely. Who just such cool looking armor. We should probably like select a couple of these, Alvaro, and we should do like maybe for Halloween we do a cosplay or a couple of costumes of some of these characters. I was thinking about that, but maybe this one is too much. Like there's a lot to we would have to do a lot to get a good cosplay going for this one. Okay. Joe Rogers is commenting that this guy is also left-handed. I think that's a comment people have made before about a lot of our characters being left-handed. I think it's just there are more left-handed characters than there are left-handed people proportionally. I think that's just what's happening here. I think at the end of the day, we kind of try to make like good-looking poses for the characters, and it just like part of them end up being right-handed and part of them end up being left-handed. But it's not like a conscious choice or anything to make a lot of left-handed characters. Okay, so let's move on to the dangers of the dunes. There's a lot of dangers in the dunes of Lutba, and we're gonna start with the small one, which is still quite big. It's still like a large creature, right? So the Armapian is kind of like a nightmarish scorpion. It's what you get if you had like a Fallout Deathclaw had a love child with a red scorpion or something. You'd get something like this. It also kind of looks like one of the kind of intermediary phases of one of those monsters from Tremors, right? It looks like something Kevin Bacon might want to blow up with some dynamite. But yeah, the Armapian is like a big nasty thing that you do not want to have to face on the deserts of Lutba. Some people actually hunt these things down to eat when there's like no more meat to find, or no more food to find. But it is not a great idea. And yeah, the Armapian is just a nasty like hell chicken, like a monstrous scorpion thing, and it's a little bit of a little original also. So let's transition here to the Sculpt by João Comaceto. And it's just, we always need to have a couple of monstrous looking monsters, right? In every bundle. And I think the Armapian really fits that role really well, really slots into that role really well. Yeah, Graboids. Graboids from Tremor. It does have a little bit of that look. It's probably like the three-pronged jaw that is giving me Tremor vibes. But it's also kind of probably maybe a common origin for this guy and the giant worms that we're going to be showing next. And there's a lot of you guys. So there's maybe like a common ancestor to both of those types of creatures. Luiza has been painting a young one, like the 75mm version of a young one, right over there, and we're gonna get to that right quick. So the next character we have is, of course, let me get to it before, who is the young worm, which is also a large creature. The Luiza has been painting one through this whole live stream, and the whole time I've been going like, who Luiza has been painting. This is one of the last ones we're gonna talk about, and Luiza has been just like trucking along, and I'm going, I need to get there fast, before she finishes painting it. And I think we did it. And the young worm is like, and Luiza's choice of color there are quite appropriate. D&D copied the worms from Dune, and we ended up with like purple worms and like frost worms and stuff like that. Just giant terrible vermin that come in from underground and just ruin your players' lives. They are giant sacks of hit points, and they swallow up your players, and then they just tunnel away, and it's a whole hassle to recover a player that may be dying like that. It's not a fun fight. I'm gonna transition actually to show first the 32mm version of it. It's the 32mm version, side by side with a Skirmisher, just so you guys can have an understanding of like the dimensions of it and the proportions of it. And we do have a young one, but we also have an ancient one that we're gonna show a bit later. And this is the young one, and just the amazing detail you guys are gonna notice, like along its body, it has a bunch of holes. Those holes come into play a little bit later for the ancient version. It has like the big jaw. You can actually see like the throat there, like inside its maw. It's toothy maw, like Matthew Mercer would like to say. It has kind of it's actually kind of a butthole looking throat there. But it needs to close out. It needs to have a sphincter there, just so it doesn't like swallow up sand. People are laughing here around me, but everyone's got sphincters, and you got multiple sphincters along your body. A sphincter is just a circular muscle. It's just a circular group of muscles. So I am technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. And now I'm gonna transition, Luiza. If you could show like center the worm there, just so we can get a. Let me transition into your view. Yeah, this is some great stuff that Luiza is painting, and that's some like really vibrant colors there on the top of the that you're painting, like that purple magenta stuff. I don't understand like colors. I am not good at them. Like, could you tell us a little bit about the paints you're using?
Yeah, now I'm painting with the dark brown to do like a more rock style in this part, and here is the sensible part, right? So it's kind of look like the sand, but like alive.
Yes.
And here it's like the tusk, right? Like in the Dragonfly Marine, that he is blowing up the sand, and with various of tusks and thieves. It's this part here.
Yes.
Right.
The base of the Dragonfly Marine is actually like kind of flying away from maybe one of these coming out of the sand, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to save himself. So
And the magenta was kind of like to put another bright color to give a good contrast to the paint.
Yes. I think it also like it reminds me of the D&D Purple Worm, which is a classic monster. It's a classic one to have a fight with. If you've never fought a purple worm, it's a bit of a hassle. They have a ton of hit points, and they are really annoying to fight. So yeah, this is the young worm. But now, let's move on to the ancient worm. And this is actually going to take a little bit of time to set up. We're going to do the 32mm version first. I think it's best. Let me just transition back to the concepts here. So this is the ancient worm. We put it down as huge. But if you're playing a 32mm game and you want to really scare the hell out of your players, you could definitely use the 75mm version and just have it be like gargantuan, right? Or extra large. And let me transition back here. So this is the ancient purple worm, the huge one. And this is a sculpt by... before I forget, and both the young worm and the ancient worm were sculpted by Lailson Camini. And like this is a great one. Like every time we have a chance to do something like this, it's great. Like we did something similar with the Kraken, where we did like the main body and then the tentacles as separate pieces, so you can put them like wherever you want to in the map. This one has a main body that is full of the spikes along the ridges of the body there, and it has two extra pieces, right? A middle section of the body and a tail section. So you could print actual like multiple middle sections and make this like technically as long as you want to, which is really fun. You can make like an Ouroboros serpent, like or a Jormungand or something that like wraps around the desert and comes back. It can be absolutely enormous. But this is not the coolest version of this that we have. We also have the 75mm version. And actually, if we could, like, can I have the middle section? I don't think it's even gonna fit there. Yeah. This is the middle section, right? Look at how big this is. This is the middle section of the 75mm worm. Can I have like a 32mm miniature, anyone, just so I can, like... Oh yeah, this is the 32mm version, and this is the 75. Look at the difference. Look at how awesome this is. this is definitely one like this one can swallow up can swallow up a player. This one can swallow up multiple players at one, maybe a couple of vehicles. It's really, really, really fun. Yes, this is absolutely gigantic. I think we can actually like fit. Yeah, look at the size of the tail. Like this is just gigantic. This the 75mm version is definitely would definitely be like a gargantuan creature. Maybe even larger than that. Maybe colossal. Maybe something like that. A classification like that. They don't even have that on 5e or anything like that. But this is absolutely great. I absolutely love it. If I was playing, like, I would print this one for a 32mm game. It doesn't matter if it breaks the game. This one is a lot more impactful, right? And that's what you want from. That's definitely what you want for your game. Let me just adjust something here. And unfortunately, I don't think we have it printed. The object, the worm mouth. Yeah, we have. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, and it's still quite big. Yeah, let's showcase that. Let me just transition right back to the mall here. And if that is not enough for you, we have for the objects we have an extra worm. So we have the worm maw. And this one is a little bit of Dune, but it's also a little bit of Star Wars. It's basically a Sarlacc pit, right? And it is 32mm, but the maw is actually almost as big as the maw for the 75mm one. So this is like really, really, really gigantic. And this one is particular. Let me just find here who was the one that sculpted it. I don't think I have it written down. Oh, it was Alex Marik who wrote it down. Who sculpted this one? I wrote it down. And here we go in all of its Sarlacc pit style glory. It's definitely not something you want to fall into. There's a couple of scenes in the movie. There's a couple of scenes in movies like Tremor as well that are very very reminiscent of this. And they actually have like, oh Jesus, like it has 3 jaws and it has 3 tongues, which is kind of disgusting. Can we have put the 32mm inside of it? I really like the idea of that. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this one can definitely swallow up a 32mm mini whole. And I think that's the point of it, right? Like, yeah, the giant worms are kind of like the highlight of the bundle. They are definitely really, really cool. I wonder if it, like, if you had this as a pet, it would definitely like snap off a finger or two. Just, okay, and that's it for characters. So let's get into the objects, because we have, we have a couple more like really, really awesome things to show. I don't have all of the objects. I think we don't have the tower, right? Okay, so let's start. What?
No fully complete. No totally complete.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, because of that issue I mentioned earlier, we don't have all of the objects like fully printed out. But we're gonna show to you guys the ones that we have, and we're gonna show the renders of the ones that we don't have ready here. So we're gonna start off with the ornithopter, the vehicle for the bundle. And the ornithopter was sculpted by Alex Marik as well. So the ornithopter, like there's a clear inspiration of the topters from Dune, right? The dragonfly winged helicopters, but it's a little bit different. This one is a like single pilot vehicle, and it actually has, I believe, it has a couple of different versions of like the cockpit glass and stuff like that. And yeah, actually, let's just transition into the actual model, right? Because it's really cool looking. And you know, it has the pilot there. It has the wings. I think the camera moved a little bit there. Yeah, and we're back. And it has the pilot there, but I believe the wings actually move, right? They are adjustable a little bit. Yeah, so you can have the wings set up in like different positions, and if you have a position in mind that you want it to be set in, you can definitely do that. But you can also like position it in different ways for dioramas and stuff like that. We went a little bit all the way into the Dragonfly inspiration for this one, so it needs a lot of power, so it has like all of the power cells here on the back. Yes, the cockpit opens. We do have a pilot for it. I don't think it's in like the final render. Let's actually check it out. Ooh, I'm not gonna be able to do that for now. But there's two versions of the cockpit glass. There's one which is just the frame, and one which is the frame plus the glass. So you can print it in translucent resin if you want to, or you can just use this frame that we have here, which is just a frame, and it's gonna give like basically the same effect. But you know, just a lot of really cool detail. This is like more advanced technology. I imagine like the discs on the back there are either like the power cells or like the anti-grav generators or something that allow this hugely very cool but very impractical dragonfly winged chopper to take flight. Yeah, we do have a pilot in the render. I don't think we have it in the general render. But yeah, this is like basically an extra character if you guys want it, but it's also separate, so you don't need to use him if you don't want to. If you're just into like cool space vehicles, this is the mini for you. And next up, let's show another like really cool one. Let's move on to the. I actually clicked on it this time. Let's move on to the last gun turret. It's kind of like a laser gun turret. This is another one that it actually like it's a giant turret, and it has a space for an actual character there as well. And it can actually move around. It can actually rotate. So if your enemies are approaching with the ornithopters, you can just shoot them down with one of these. And the last gun turret was sculpted by Anderson Pioli. And yeah, this is another really cool one. This one reminds me a little bit of the engineer chair in the engineer control sit in Alien, right? I think that's another like really cool one. Really cool reference point. Can we show it how it rotates? Yeah. Yeah, so the gun part on the top rotates. Yeah, There we go. So you can adjust it mid-game. And it's a little bit more finicky, but the pilot's also like the gunner is also a separate piece. Okay, so what else do we have here for our objects? Just so I can make sure. I think let me just transition into like the next larger one. Let me just do the next larger one, which would be the obelisk. So, and let me just select the right one here, just so I know which one it is. So this one is the sacred obelisk. It's a big one. Unfortunately, we didn't get it printed on time to show it on the live stream today. It's not meant to be like a playable space or anything. It's meant to be just kind of a set piece or a good diorama piece. And this one was actually sculpted by Anderson Pioli. And I'm gonna show you guys like the render for it, which is already out, so you guys can have an idea of like the proportions of it. We did a really good one for this one. So yeah, it's really big. It comes in like all of these parts, and you can see like the marine right there on the side. So it's a big tower. Again, it's not meant as like a playable space, but it's absolutely great for dioramas. Maybe a centerpiece for a big fight that you're having, or maybe this is like the big machine that is like the MacGuffin of your campaign. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Let's see what else do we have here. I think we're gonna move on now to, we have a couple of pieces of the walls. So like we have modular walls again in this bundle. We don't have all of the pieces printed out yet, but it's but we do have a couple that we'd like to show you. I think this the one that we have is the gate. Yeah, and the gate is really cool. Because it actually opens, right? You can actually we did something like this in a past bundle, and people in a past fantasy bundle, and people really liked it, and so we brought it into the sci-fi bundle. And it's modular wall, so you can have your defenses set up however you want to, and then you can have a gate that does this. Can I show it now? Okay, we're gonna just wait for it to come around again. Okay. And yeah, look at how good this is. Let's see if I have them here. Ooh, I don't have the walls up here. Okay, so let's move on because we're kind of short on time here. We also have a couple of rock objects, which were let me just yeah, the walls were sculpted by Victor Prado, and let me just transition here to the concepts. We have besides the walls, we have several rock and stones, like the rain objects that were sculpted by Gustavo Gliss. And I'm gonna transition into them now. This is not like all of them. I think we have 3 of them here. There's a couple more. Yeah, it's just like some extra terrain pieces, so you can like complete your scenery. Just give it some cool flavor. And besides that, we have these 3 objects here. We have a water pump, or a pump jack, a material pump jack, which was a banner and a crate, which were all sculpted by Alex Marique. and these are all like great things to have in this particular bundle. I think the crate is kind of like it's kind of like a droid, just a standard carry droid, and it also works as our kind of almost mandatory but not really chest that we do in like almost every bundle. We do something that looks like a chest. The banner, of course, to represent the royal houses, whatever royal houses or maybe military you want to represent, and the pump jack so you can like extract all of the resources from the planet, namely maybe spice or whatever. And these are the sculpts, all of them by Alex Marik. And yeah. Whew, that was a lot. So this is it for this particular bundle. The Sandy Dunes of Lutba. Let me just make sure I went through everything. Yes, I did. But we have a couple more things to show you. So first of all, definitely check out the magazine. It has all of the lore and the stat blocks for the creatures and the humanoids and monsters that we showcase here today. So there's a lot of like really great content there. So definitely check it out. Let's see here. And before you guys ask, let's talk a little bit about loyalty rewards, and I should have pulled up an image of it here. So we have let me just go back to the image of the bundle here. We're gonna show it here. Okay, I'm gonna grab it, but this is like assembled, but it's not this is assembled, but it's not like glued together or anything yet. So I'm gonna have to be like very careful. So there's a new 6-month loyalty reward for the sci-fi bundles coming out. If you have like every bundle up until like last month's bundle, you are entitled to it, and this reward is like it's ready, it's done, and it's coming out tomorrow. And it is the Mecha Hunter Mark V. The concept art was by Guilherme Mota, and it was sculpted by our 3D team lead for the sci-fi bundles, Robson Barros. And it is absolutely incredible. And mama, don't let me drop this. Look at how big this is. This is the statue version. Let me just find a place where maybe here. Yeah. You guys can see me, right? You guys can still see me. The statue version is just absolutely enormous. I'm gonna hand it off. Can we get it to? We're gonna try to show it on camera somewhere else. We have of course, we have a 32mm version and a 75mm version. Do we have like the 75mm painted version or something? I believe that we did. It's not painted yet. Okay. So it has a 32mm version, a 75mm version, and a statue version, which is absolutely awesome. And if nothing goes wrong, which I don't think it will, this is coming out tomorrow for all those of you who have who have had the subscription for the past 6 months. This is our thank you for that. And actually, I forgot to show something, but I think it's gonna be better to show on camera there. So this is a little bit the lower arms, like it has 4 arms, and the lower arms can actually come off. I don't think we're gonna disassemble it or anything. So let me just, are we ready? So let me just transition here. We're just adjusting the camera. Okay, we're ready. Okay, so first off, there's a lot here. This is a little bit of a mecha or an Eva, but this is actually like a mecha hunter, and you can see like the base actually has a dead and destroyed mech on it, and it's just stepping on that skull and crushing it. This is like this is like a mecha's worst nightmare, I think is what we are going for. And there's an awesome detail because this is actually like an organic being, right? So or you can absolutely treat it as such. You can remove the who. As I said, it is assembled, but it's not glued in. Yeah, so the arms come off, the lower arms can come off. I think for the 32mm version, we're gonna have two versions because so it's not gonna be like it's gonna be an either or, right? So either 2 arms or 4 arms, and the helmet actually comes off. And you can see, like, can we zoom in on the awesome brain there?
Tiago,
Yes.
we kind of have the 75mm, but it's kind of a sketch that I did to paint the statue. So I don't know if you want to show.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Let's show that. Like, it's a working process, right? It's a whip.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
you guys have to understand that it's a whip. So look at that. Look at how cool that is. Okay, so this is a working. Let me transition to Luiza's camera here, so you guys can see this is a working process for the painting we're gonna do of the statue version. This is like a bit of a model. And yeah, it also comes out the little. You can take off the hat to just say, "How do you do, man?" And there's the brains right underneath there. So this is so nice. And yeah, absolutely, it has some Evangelion feels to it, right? Just kind of the overall style, kind of like this giant muscular but kind of lanky thing. I'm gonna transition back to the regular camera now. Thank you so much, Luiza.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, this is an awesome 6-month loyalty reward. You don't want to miss it. So if you want to get it tomorrow and you don't have all of the past bundles, definitely like go check out our old bundles and like complete the sequence so you can get it tomorrow. Like, this is just absolutely awesome. So yeah, I think these are all of the things that we whew, and this was a lot today, folks, but I think those are all of the things we wanted to share with you, except for like one more little detail. And there were a couple of mentions about this in chat already. It's almost like you guys had read our minds. And okay, so we're gonna reveal now the name of the next sci-fi bundle. The concept art is coming soon, but we're gonna reveal the name, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the themes later if you guys ask about it on chat. But I think it's gonna be really clear. The name of the next sci-fi bundle is Neon Street 3K. Neon Street 3K. And just so there's no doubt about it, it is a cyberpunk-inspired bundle, a cyberpunk aesthetic. There's a lot of really cool games on that genre, right? There's Shadowrun and Cyberpunk, and it's just, when you say sci-fi, we were going to do a bundle like this eventually. A lot of you have been asking for it, and it is coming. It is the next bundle, so don't miss it, and pay attention to our community and our communication in the next couple of weeks for the concept art that is coming. And I've taken a little peek at it, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome, guys. So Neon Street 3K, it's coming, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna leave it here on the giant loyalty reward. I think the statue of the loyalty reward is someone was mentioning in chat. It's pretty big. Could probably give a fight to the 75 millimeter worm, but those are awesome miniatures. So yeah, we have like a couple of miniatures for a Q&A. So if you guys have any doubts or any comments or anything like that, just post it in chat. We're gonna try to answer them all real quick. And yeah, I think it's yeah. So I'm gonna try to go back here on chat and check out if there are any questions that I can answer, anything like that. Oh, about Lawrence Nijs. Sorry about that if I'm butchering your name or something. When is the 9-month Fantasy Lord reward available? When is it going to be available? I believe the 32 and 75 millimeter versions are ready, right, Alvaro? We just have to release them.
We actually have the statue version ready. We had it like a week ago, but we noticed that the statue was missing a few details, like some cloth textures and other details like this to make the statue look like stand out. So we decided to delay it a little so we can add more details and then release it to the subscribers. So we should release it this week, I guess.
Yeah, so we're going to release it this week. Maybe we can do the 32 and 75 earlier?
Yeah, maybe we can release those that are like ready to download and print, but maybe the statue will come a little later. But yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah, we would just rather release something that is like ready and done.
As you can notice, we are a company that never delays, so we had a little delay with the loyalty reward, and some of the sci-fi miniatures weren't printed yet. So the truth is that the pirate ship was a crazy complex project, and it took all the time from our team, from the 3D sculpting to the 3D printing, and now we are working a lot to get back to the normal schedule. So, yeah, it's really hard, but we are getting there.
Yeah, we had a little bit of trouble with our with getting things done on time, but we're solving that issue now. So the bundles are always like our top priority. We want to make sure that the bundles come out on time. And then the loyalty rewards, because they are rewards and they are meant to be so like this big and amazing things, we want to make sure that they are actually big and amazing, right? So we would not be happy with releasing something that we think it's like something that we think is has not finished cooking, right? And once we printed, like we had the statue version of the Fantasy 9-month life reward Cadriel like fully printed, and then we looked at it and like we can still do a little bit better, and that's what we've been doing. So sorry about the delay, but it's coming this week. Oh, the ship that Alvaro was talking about, Michael, was the giant Lady Harpy ship of the fantasy subscription. It took a lot of time and manpower, and yeah, it kind of delayed a couple of things on other areas, but we're solving that issue now. Let's see. Someone asked, Rexidus asked, would a superhero set be on brand for sci-fi? A superhero set, maybe, but it's not on the plans for now. I think a superhero set has the same issue of like a people have been asking for a steampunk set or something like that, but it's kind of hard to fit into a subscription. It kind of maybe deviates too much from the brand, from like what people are expecting. I'm not saying we're never gonna do something like a superhero set, but it's kind of hard to find a place for it now. Let's see here. So Joe Rogers saying Worms versus Eva, my new diorama plan. I think that's gonna be an awesome diorama. You definitely want to go for the 75 millimeter worm for that one, or maybe you want to do like the 75 millimeter loyalty reward and the 32 millimeter ancient worm. I think that would also be a good fight. Muhammad is asking, will Alvaro's Sculpt be added to this month's page or Sci-Fi Tavern? That's not the plan, Muhammad. This was more of like a way for Alvaro to stretch his creative muscles and just kind of sculpt for a little bit. We're kind of, as we said, we kind of delayed a couple of things this past month because we didn't have time, and every time we add like a new mini, it's a new model that our 3D support team has to work on and has to test, and it takes printing time. So we're not planning on releasing this, at least for now. Maybe in the future, and maybe we can use this little guy that Alvaro sculpted as a base for some cool aliens in the future. I think that's the idea behind it. Bare Bones is asking about the website update. It's coming. We're like in the final stages of setting it up, and we like just pay attention to our community messages and community announcements. We're gonna explain like exactly how it's going to work in a couple of weeks. And then we're gonna like prepare the community, and it's gonna be like a gradual change. You're not gonna have to like change all at once. We're gonna do a couple of tests first. We have to do the final tests, but it's coming, and it's coming with a lot of the upgrades you guys have been requesting for so long. So LARP Beard is saying, BRB heading to the airport for a flight to Brazil. The only way I'm getting an office tour. Yeah, maybe. We have been kind of delaying the office tour video for a while as well. Things are still kind of a mess here right now. We are expanding. Let's see here. So much. Let's see what else do we have here. Muhammad, I have registered your request, and I'm gonna talk to Alvaro about it. Okay, can't promise anything except that I'm gonna talk to Alvaro about it. What is my favorite mini from the Dune bundle? Like the classic one is the ancient worm. As a D&D player, I really like it because it gives me an opportunity to do like a really cool and scary looking purple worm or something like that. But my favorite, I would say it has to be let's see here. Let's just take a look at the concepts again, just so I can remember all of them. I think I would have to say the Dragonfly Marine. Yeah, the Dragonfly Marine I think is my favorite. It's just kind of cool looking, and I would like to play a character like that. DM Ike Bujin is saying, if you guys don't want to add fantasy to the cyberpunk, would love to see a massive set of them as a one shot like the Vikings. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to do that. Fabio Fernandez is saying, so can we visit? I don't think we have the structure ready for office tours or an office visit yet. And there's a lot of stuff that we're working on that we definitely can't reveal to you guys yet. So, Caio Bellucci is in chat. Have I been saying your name right, Caio? I don't know. Is it Bellucci? Yeah, we're gonna go for just a couple more minutes here, and then we're gonna finish up the live stream. Yeah, there are no like new questions popping up. Yeah, I think we can end it now. Okay, so this has been a lot. Like every time we launch a new bundle, there's more and more stuff for us to talk about, for me to talk about. It is a lot of work on my old windpipes here, but I'm always glad to do it because the work we do here is just so awesome. So thank you guys for sticking with us through all of this, and for sticking with us through the live stream and participating in this. I hope you all really love the bundle. If you're not subscribed, make sure to check. Like, there's gonna be a link in the description or something that you can check out, or you can also use this QR code here. So thank you so much. See you guys next time, and yeah, bye. Alvaro?
Bye, guys. See you in the
Bye,
next
guys.
one.
Bye, guys. See ya.
So yeah, see you around.